All right. Hey, you guys, welcome. And we're here this morning, this afternoon. Yeah, Friday.
Afternoon.
Yeah. And what's the date? 10th? Does anybody know?
9th,
The
Friday
ninth.
night.
Friday.
No.
Yeah, that's often the question I ask, where am I? What day is it?
What time is it?
So welcome everybody. I have the pleasure and the opportunity to spend some time here today. You all do as well with Callie Elwayns.
Callie Elwayns.
Oh gosh, she's going to just kill me. We've been doing this for a while, so I love her, and that's all that matters. We've known each other for quite a few years, and she's off on this amazing journey of helping women really come into their full power and into their potential and their to see their opportunities and to shine. And Callie has an event coming up on the weekend of on the 17th, right? Mm-hmm. And then she's going to tell us about it. And would you do that and introduce our guests?
Sure, David.
Yes.
Yeah, so the event is called The Bold and Visible Monologues, and it's happening next Saturday, the 17th,
Yes.
in the afternoon, and it's at the Calgary C-Space Theatre. So that's kind of in the South Calgary Marda Loop area.
Mm-hmm.
It's an absolutely beautiful venue.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yes,
And
yeah.
so we're starting at 1 o'clock, doors are opening, but people can come out earlier and go to the, they call it the Farmers and Makers Market. It's a really amazing curated farmers market, so you can make a day of it. But I have some amazing guests. I want to talk a little bit, obviously, about what the event is. It's a storytelling event for women who are really stepping into their biggest mission in the world.
Wow.
So we've just been through a 4-month program where we're all, as a community of women, really standing into our voice, getting visible, and really empowering ourselves to move forward in a much bigger way than we may have been moving forward before. And part of it is telling our stories. And I just had a rehearsal the other night with these women, and I was absolutely blown away. But I'm here with some of the women who are going to be on stage. Liz Duerholt is telling her personal story. Liz runs a amazing social enterprise called Redefined, which helps youth who are in trauma really take on a new way of being in their life. And I'm going to leave it to Liz to talk about it, but I really support this social enterprise and what Liz is up to. So her mission is huge, and part of the work we've done together is really noticing where there's any holdbacks to that big mission, and then really stepping into getting visible and really speaking her true story to the world, because it's so important. Inside of our big mission, we have to get visible. And Angie C here is going to come and perform. Angie is amazing. She is a vocalist, a professional musician who is a classically trained pianist. She is also a neuroscience geek who does amazing work. She was actually at TEDx YYC in June, right?
Yeah.
With some amazing technology around wearable technology and clothing and brainwaves. I'll let Angie speak to that. Angie's going to bring a little bit of that to the stage, a little bit of interest. I won't give it all away, but she'll be performing some of her original music, which is fantastic. Angie C, I'm going to let her plug it, but she just did a new release. It's done very well. You can find her on Spotify, but her music is so inspiring and really an amazing fit for what we're working on together.
Wow. So the first thing that comes up for me, I'm sorry, is what about men?
Well, men are absolutely welcome to come, right? So this is not a women exclusive event on the 17th.
I meant, what about, we need to come into our story.
You do.
We need to let go of all the stuff that holds us back.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's no different, actually.
Yeah.
For me right now, my
Yes.
heart and my mission sits with women.
Awesome.
It's not exclusive to men. I'm that. You know me, David.
Yeah.
I really believe in a healthy masculine and a healthy feminine.
You do.
I believe in the whole, my motto is go beyond me too, right? Right? So it's not like
I know that.
I'm not, you know, but what I am helping women do is step into their feminine in a strong leadership way.
I see that.
And it's we have a unique situation a little bit, because a lot of us as women have a collective way of being that sometimes is dimming ourselves down and holding ourselves back. And it's inside of, yes, true things that have happened to us maybe in the past, or cultural things, but really when it comes down to it, the work that I do is really about seeing ourselves as the source, and then how can we unwind some of those patterns. And once we do, like, okay, with Liz and her story, it's so amazing that once you do that work, the true you can come out, right? So like in the boardroom, I would find myself dimming down. I had many years as a CEO and an executive in the world, and I would find myself in those positions, even when I was in leadership, of being less than what I could be.
Playing a little small.
Playing small.
Yeah.
And if you play small, you can't have your full impact in the world.
No.
And you know, and working with a lot of executive women, even though they're at the top of their game, there's still a lot of us that are, right, holding that little bit back. That little bit is the step that could take you to the next level, to helping the world.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I love to hear your story, Liz, because you shared a little bit of it earlier, and obviously you're a very powerful woman to get done, you know, to be in the position that you're in right now, and the way that you're serving young people, and helping them change their lives. What, will you share with us, you know, what's happening there and how you two are working together, and how that's helped?
Yes, I actually met Callie through work with young people at the Doorway in Calgary, and so she knew what I was up to far before I knew what she was up to. And that she gave the space, was probably very aware of some of the blocks she was seeing in me when I was presenting the work that I do, and I was super grateful when she told me what her new mission was going to be with Bold and Visible, and offered me a space to take part in the group, and I was hesitant to do that. You know, my own stuff, and definitely a fear of being visible, and that you saw that, and was persistent, to the point where I was like, okay, I will trust that this is where I need to go next.
Nice.
And yeah, and it is hard for me to put into words, but definitely realizing that making myself small, that my fear of the success of it and the size that it could be has been the thing that holds me back. And I never would have thought possible to start from a place of based in radical self-responsibility, but then even with that, the awareness of what it is that's in your way, and how that's showing up, and the ways that we can trust our body and use our body to let that go, and just to learn that that's even possible was not something that I was aware of before. And then to transition that into storytelling. When I first started, I thought we'd just be on stage telling a story, but to go to work through the process of, I think, what previously looked in my life like a whole bunch of scattered things that was everywhere that didn't make a lot of sense, and you know, I was lost in a sense in my own mind when I was doing all this stuff, and to go through the process of putting your story into alignment, and seeing what you learned along the way, and where you ended up in this mission, it actually did have these pieces that fit into place on that journey, and to be able to, there was an enormous amount of self-discovery just in going, I was wandering, not lost, and discovering. And so yeah, to put your story into a context that you can tell it and see where it was guiding you, it gives you a lot of self-confidence in what you were doing, and that process, that self-confidence then feeds into the sharing of your story being a lot less fearful. And I would not have known that path was possible.
So it's interesting because this all kind of dovetails with the work you're doing with youth. because you're helping them rewrite
Totally,
their
yeah.
story, or
Yeah.
to become aware of their story and their choices.
Yes.
And
Yep.
So-
Having to walk my own walk.
son of a gun. Yeah.
And then realizing too, in my own self-compassion, through the process and seeing what's been in the way and letting it go and being curious about it and not judging it, has also just helped me relate to them a lot easier. So when I see the way their trauma manifests in their life, or what a self-sabotaging pattern appears like through them, to be able to recognize that was my exact same struggle and my exact same way of protecting myself.
Yes.
And it just allowed me to release judgment, which is just not helpful, directed at yourself or directed at people you're trying to help. So if you can let that go, it not only heals yourself, but it really allows healing for other people when you can step aside and say, like, that did serve you, like, honor it, and recognize that it doesn't have to be part of you, and you can reprioritize. So it's been an amazing journey of self-discovery that I'm grateful to be able to pass on, and the lens has changed to how I see it all playing out.
It's funny about trauma. Personally, I have a tendency to minimize and or even imagine that it didn't happen. And I'll bet that, even exploring your own story allows you to see that it doesn't have to be that you were locked in a closet. It doesn't have to be the terrible examples that we associate with to have been traumatic. And then I think with awareness, then the healing really starts to happen, doesn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
It's really like, I consider it sort of living our life as art. So like our stories really become art. And Liz has a very powerful story. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And we're going to hear it on the 17th.
Yes, so she'll be joining 7 other women on stage who will be also telling their personal stories.
Wow.
Very vulnerable, courageous. It's been a real process to go through.
Yes.
But, and really, it's an embodying process as well, right? It's not just content. It's like becoming that full person they actually are.
And there could be some tears.
There's been a few.
Right.
I mean, on the day of the presentation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully we've worked through most of them by then.
Well, I was in rehearsal with these women, and I actually cried in rehearsal, so I don't know how I'm going to do. But yeah, really honest.
Yeah.
Not heavy,
No.
but honest and true, and that's just,
Well, the tears could be gratitude.
yeah.
Freedom tears.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're possible.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Well, like, congratulations
Thank you.
for going for it and trusting, this amazing woman. And
Yes, you are.
yes, you are. And I've watched you over, the years come to this place where you stepped up and said, okay, you've probably been being called for a while. And often we go into our calling resistantly, like, no, I think you've got the wrong number. Right?
That's right. It, for all of us, and certainly for every woman who will be on the stage, including Angie, who's performing, because Angie has her own story of moving and evolving.
So, will you speak as well?
So I'm not really telling much of a story, but I'll be performing a few songs. One song that I'll be performing is called Queen, and is actually sort of my link with something that Callie said when I actually met Callie at the Fearless Women Summit a few months ago. Completely on a fluke, I went on Facebook one day and saw an ad for the Fearless Women Summit. They were giving away a free ticket to go see Lady Gaga if you come to the conference. I'm like, okay, I'll get a ticket. Anyways, I went to the conference and I stayed the entire day. And I remember Callie got up on stage to tell her story, and I was completely blown away. I had to take a minute, I even tear up now, but go out to the car and be like, holy shit! It was so good. One thing she said that really resonated is just about confidence for women. and how she had done lots of work with women in the boardroom. And about a year and a half ago, I read a book called The Confidence Code, and it was all about confidence for women and how that shows up. And these two lovely women, I can't remember their names now, but they went really deep on the science, the psychology, the biology, everything, interviewed hundreds of women. And at the end of the day, it was really that confidence for women might look a little different than what it does for men, and that we have to really grow into that and stand in it confidently. So just some things that she said on stage there really resonated. And I had also written a song called Queen, which was based on all of those readings last year. And it's just about standing into your power as a woman. So I really wrote that song to help, if women want to sing in the car, and I'll show you what a queen's like. Like, let's go. Anyway, so I found out that Callie did some coaching and mentoring, so I said, you know what, like, this is too much of a sign, so I'm going to sign up. So I've been working with her for a couple months now.
Wow.
And it actually came at a really good time because I was releasing a new song, doing a music video, had a whole bunch of stuff going on in personal life, plus holding down a corporate job. So it was basically a whirlwind. So to have her there really anchoring and helping me to feel in, like, what was the next step that I need to take, or why don't you explore what's coming up for you right now emotionally or in the body, that sort of thing. It was so helpful. And honestly, I don't think I would have made it through without her coaching. So yeah, really, really highly recommend the work that Callie's doing at Bold and Visible.
So can you tell us a little bit of your story? Because we're not going to hear it on the 17th. And, how did you get to a place of wanting to explore personal development or consciousness, or not just, because this is not just about achievement. This is about self-discovery, right?
Yeah, for sure.
When did that start?
It really started in mid-20s, around 25. So I had basically, I was a small child playing music, and then started going to school. And then all of a sudden school just takes the journey of, you have all your extracurricular activities, and then at the end of it, it's, okay, now it's time to go get a real job. So all of a sudden, music and the things that I loved weren't necessarily a career opportunity for me. So
It didn't seem to be.
It didn't seem to be. But I also love sciences, so I went and studied biology and neuroscience and learned about the brain, and just tried to learn as much as possible in the medical world and about the body and the brain, which didn't really make sense to me at the time, although I was hoping to go study to be a doctor, which I kept hitting roadblocks along that whole process of applying for med school. So I was like, okay, around 25 to 27, I was like, maybe I should be looking at other options, because this just isn't happening. So I read a whole bunch of books on spirituality. I did a yoga teacher training course, binaural beats, which is using music to help entrain the brain. So I kind of had all these knowledges from university studies that the science started to really make sense when matching it up with some of the more spiritual side of quantum physics and frequencies and that sort of thing. So I got really interested in that. Fast forward a little bit more, I started in the corporate world as a pharmaceutical rep, and that's really taught me a lot about business and marketing and lots of global stuff too when it comes to business. So it's been really exciting. And now that music is starting to kind of take a little bit more of a forefront, really, I guess, one of my goals is to have my creative endeavors start paying the bills a little bit, maybe. But I've done some cool stuff too with brainwave controlled music and brainwave controlled outfits that light up. So that's been a cool thing too.
Wow! Did you make these things?
Yeah. So I had I kind of came up with the initial idea. It was all part of some projects that were done with Make Fashion. So Make Fashion is the biggest wearable technology fashion show in the world, and it's right here in Calgary every year. There's tons of designers in town. I know, it's really a unique thing. And so there's every year they do this fashion show, and so you pitch your project idea of how you think you can merge fashion and technology. So the first year I pitched an idea for a brainwave controlled dress that had LED lights on it that would basically show brainwave activity by changing the colors of the lights on the dress using a portable, what they call electroencephalography headset. So that was a real smash hit, and it really worked, which was awesome because that was definitely taking a leap of faith on that one.
There'd be no hiding your feelings in that dress.
No.
Gotta watch out when you're with your husband.
That's right.
Oh, God. Yeah, true story. But and then this past year we did another outfit that was looking at like I wanted to experiment with brainwave controlled music. So kind of one of the goals is to eventually be able to incorporate that into a live show setting. So the first step was to see, could we actually use brainwaves to trigger different kind of drum beats in the music. So I had a really awesome engineering team. Shout out Model Innovations, because like they totally rocked it.
Model
Innovations.
Nice,
so they're
okay.
a startup out of the U of C.
Yep. Maybe we'll tag them.
Oh yeah.
Great.
So like really, I had this crazy idea, and Richard, one of their head engineers, like, yep, we can do this. I'm like, okay. So anyways, so it brought us to having this outfit that kind of changes colors based on the brainwave controlled music, and it all, like, it's really something when you see it all working together. So that was presented actually during the networking hour at TEDx YYC, as well as in the Make Fashion show last year. So
did you speak at TEDx?
no, I didn't speak, but during the networking hour, we Make Fashion brought us in because they were speaking. Make Fashion, Maria Hoover was speaking in that, and yes, we were there in the lobby mixing and mingling and showing people how the outfit and the music worked, and yeah, they were pretty blown away. So it was pretty exciting.
Wow. So with the brain, like you've studied it, and you know, I mean, it's really it's become all the rage. Everybody's more brain conscious these days, and
sure.
So do you work with people at all to help people, you know, change some of the way the setup? Like I don't even know the language.
You mean like change kind of the
How things are working? If there's a
so like more of a biofeedback sort of thing, like wearing the headset and seeing how your brainwaves react to certain things.
Yes.
It could be done. I have the software, but I haven't delved into that area.
Yeah. So if say people are finding trouble with memory and stuff, can you help the brain grow, unfold,
That's
create more
good
space?
Question. I mean, there's different kind of overall brainwave states that can be more helpful for things like learning memory or sleep or creativity. Basically, there's all kinds of electrical impulses going off in the brain, and when your eyes are open and you're awake and you're thinking, you're in what's called beta. You can be in beta or up to gamma, so it's really high frequency activity, lots happening. But when you meditate, you'd be getting more into your like more creative alpha theta states. So there's more synchronicity in the overall electrical firing of the brain, and you just feel
So meditation's good for the brain.
Oh yeah, 100%. So the interesting thing was with the first brainwave controlled dress is that you could experiment with different tasks. So our engineer on that project, Kent Brockman, he actually sent us a video of him meditating and was able to change the lights to like a blue color because blue was linked to that more alpha.
I see
theta
uniforms for my kids coming out of it. Lighted chef coats.
Yeah, totally. And then th'll be like, okay, I'm in the zone. Okay, good. Yeah,
I love the context though of the of using wearable technology in an artful way, like in a way of connecting with art and our human qualities and how that.
And I think the nice thing to have the visual feedback is that it helps really make sense of it, because the brain, when you're living in it, you know, it's hard to know really what's going on for you. But once you have those cues of, okay, this is what it feels like when my brain's really active, or this is what it feels like when I'm meditating. So even having some of those visual cues or sound cues can be really helpful with that.
Nice. So this last few months with Callie's been really good then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. So we just released a new song. It's called "Feel Me," and it's on Spotify and iTunes and all those good places.
Feel me?
"Feel Me," yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
Angie C.
Yeah, by Angie C. And we also did a cool music video which featured one of these light up gowns. It wasn't linked to any data per se, but my friend Maria Ordez Pinto, she's a really amazing fashion designer, created a gorgeous gown for me to wear in the music video that lights up, and it looks really pretty. So
Are you bringing it to on the 17th?
yes, I am. Yes, I am.
On the
bringing it
17th, Angie will be wearing.
So you're going to
it.
wear this amazing gown.
Yeah.
And are you playing the piano?
Actually, I'll just be singing for this one,
Wow.
just some backing tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do play the piano.
Yes.
You love the piano.
Yeah. Yes, but I am going more in the pop electronic realm.
I have a
And
piano.
I see that.
I have a
I'm
piano.
eyeing over there.
Yeah.
It needs, it loves love. So
Yeah.
you've got at least, when we're finished,
Okay.
a couple of,
Okay, I will do that.
because it's lonely.
Yep.
My little piano over there. Kids come in and play it. And
Yeah.
anyway,
Awesome.
so this sounds great. This
Yeah.
what you're doing, and
Yeah, thank
it
you.
really sounds super, and just good for you for stepping up. Because I mean, you were an example of your work.
Well, it's funny because we were talking about it the other night, how we have to go, as we step into our own work, all of us, you too, David, as you know, we go through our own thresholds, right? So we're tested, we go through our own initiations. Part of why it's important to step out on stage and to be out there and to be in our story, in our truth, and sharing it is to do just that. It's to go over the threshold. And usually, and I've been facing all sorts of doubts and things coming up in my life, because I've made a major shift from leading in the corporate world sense and leading in that way to coming into my own art and really trusting in my own gifts and just stepping forward in that as what I'm here to serve. So yeah, I mean, it's been a journey for me too, right? And every step I take, it's maybe a few steps before the people who are coming along behind me. It's not. I'm not always that much further ahead, and I do have a couple decades of some pretty serious experience
Yes.
under my belt, but
So
it's always new.
saying just came to me that doubt is not the absence of courage; it's an opportunity for courage.
Totally.
And,
Yep.
and you were all examples of courage, stepping up and
Yep.
saying, "Hey." So you were just sharing about courage, and it obviously takes a lot of courage for what we're going to do, what you guys are all going to do. You women are going to do, and it's funny. I have this thing calling everybody guys. And,
I do that too.
I do too, actually.
and so tell us, how do we get to go to this? How do we,
Yeah.
tickets?
So
and
tickets for the Bold and Visible Monologues, which is the afternoon of August the 17th, so that's next Saturday, at Sea Space Theatre, are available on Eventbrite, so under Bold and Visible.
Yes.
Or you can go to the boldandvisible.com website,
Yes.
click on events, and you'll see the monologues. You can read the bios of the storytellers and see the story titles. Of course, you can go to join our Bold and Visible Facebook page too, because
Oh,
you'll get all the
yes.
updates
Yeah.
there. Again, our doors open at 1.
Yes.
The event starts at 1:30 with stories. And if you come early, you can go to the farmers market. Also, the Sea Space Theatre venue itself is an art space.
Yes.
So you can come and tour it. It's just really, really unique if you come out
So
early.
I'd love to link everybody to this,
Yes.
and even the speakers, the women who are not here, we could link, and they can share this and
Great,
yeah, and
absolutely.
we'll put the event on it, and I'd
Perfect.
like to put your music.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can share with me, your new video and,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. It'd be fun to really, allow everybody to see more of what this is.
Yeah, that's really great. And we are going to do a live stream. I think it's really exciting because I have women from all over the world that are wanting to watch. So women from Paris and Hong Kong and Australia, and who can't be in the space because
Yes.
they're not here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
New York.
So have you thought that you might do this type of program as an online experience? Not just this event, but your teaching and
There's an element that I definitely will do online, but part of the magic is to be engaged in person.
okay.
We work a lot with presence. We work a lot with our energy, our voice. We do a lot of performing arts space work. So it would have to be a combination.
So what about some weekends?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes?
Yeah, yeah. And we have in our program right now, we do some Zoom calls, right? And we do some group intensive work.
Yes.
And then we do some personal coaching. So it's a mix
Nice.
of things.
Nice. Well, great. Good for you. Congratulations for all the work that you're doing, and congratulations to you both for having for getting in and doing it. And so really, your vision is driving you, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's like, okay, I have to do this thing, so I need, and the work that you're doing with Callie is helping you to achieve.
Yes.
Make that happen. Awesome.
Definitely.
Thanks so much for coming today and sharing your stories and the work that you're doing. I think you know this, but the work that you're doing is making a difference and helps other people from your example and just being present with people and sharing your love and connection makes a big difference. So thanks for that.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks for having us, David.
Thank you. All right.
Love you.
Okay, you guys. Thank you. You too. Thank you, guys. So check us out on YouTube and subscribe on YouTube. And we'll talk to you soon. Love you guys.
Bye.
And go to this show. Okay. Bye.